freelancer in 2026. Whether a student or a full-time job who goes for an 8 to 5 job, you can still be a freelancer and do it very successfully. So first things first, freelancing is whereby you offer your services outside the routine 8 to 5, and the relationship there is a collaboration between you and the client as the service provider or the provider of whichever contract that you are fulfilling. So you become like a contractor, not an employee. So freelancing has become quite popular in the past few years, but more so in 2026, people want to move away from the traditional and conventional working routine of 8 to 5, and they want to enter the freelancing market whereby they are able to control their time, their earnings, their resources, and their clients. But first things first, what do you need as a freelancer? Number one, you need equipment. Do you have the correct equipment? If you want to be a freelance social media manager, how is your social media space? And how is your phone? Do you have a nice phone that can do nice videos, nice pictures? Because most of the time you'll be relying on your own equipment. The client may not give you any equipment to work with. And if it's a social media management gig that you're working remotely, then you need to have your computer, your internet ready, or even a nice phone, so that you can always, even if you're on the move, you're able to track the social media pages that you are working on. You need to have them on, in a tight leash, because you need to be there all the time. Social media management involves a lot of communication with customers, uploading of content periodically, so you need to have the right equipment. Number two, your skills need to match the kind of freelance gig that you want. So what kind of freelance gig do you want? Do you have matching skills? You have matching skills for that freelance gig that you want, because most of the time people don't have that skill, and they just end up not getting that work. And getting a skill nowadays is easy. You can do a 3 month course on LinkedIn, on Google, on Udemy, on all these platforms that offer courses at a very affordable price. Some courses go as low as $15. Some are for free for a certain period of time. So for example, social media management, there is a social media management course on Udemy that you can always look for. For myself, I'm a remote bookkeeper, a freelancer. So I make sure for the first time, at least, that I have the skill. I have the bookkeeping skill and the experience. Well, the experience may not be as necessary, but the skill is there, is innate with me, because I am a trained bookkeeper, I am a trained accountant. So how do you land a bookkeeping remote working role, whereas you have been maybe in an 8 to 5? So, for example, you have been in an 8 to 5, that you have been an accountant before. Remember, the principles in bookkeeping and accounting are the same across the globe, across the most of them are the same. So for example, debit and credit is the same throughout the continents. So you don't need to distinguish yourself so much, whereas some other jobs require some specific types of certifications. But in this case, as an African, and you want to have a bookkeeping gig, you need to be well certified. Over and above your experience, your certification needs to be up to date. So what am I saying? For example, I wanted a bookkeeping gig remotely, so I signed up and applied for CPA, and I did my CPA. That I did that for 4 years when I was still in campus, but I have seen that it has come back to help me land remote roles. Why? Because CPA is more or less recognized internationally as a bookkeeper or as an accountant. So you are able to place yourself in a position where you can be visible globally without not having the certification. So, what am I saying? Local certification is okay. But if you are looking for a situation whereby your work involves global clients and global reach, you need an international sort of certification. Maybe it's procurement you want to study. You can have those international procurement certifications. Maybe it's social media management. How about you train and you learn? There is this company called ALX that is always training. It's always training virtual assistants, and you pay a certain amount of time, and sometimes they have offers. ALX sometimes has offers as low as $99, so you can time for that offer, then you can train. Sometimes in Facebook groups there are groups that are training people remotely. For maybe virtual assistant is the most popular. Writing gigs also is popular, and also content creation is quite popular. So those three areas are usually on a daily basis asking for people to sign up for training. Have you signed up, or are you waiting for an angel to just come and look for you? Number three, number one, I said you need to get your equipment right. Number two was certification. And then number three is about visibility. Are you visible? Are you visible as a freelancer? Would you say you are visible as a freelancer? If your name is Michael, Michael Bryan, let's say Michael Bryan, and Michael Bryan is a software developer. So if your name is Michael Bryan and you are certified or a skilled software developer, how do we know you? Where will we find you? Will we find you in LinkedIn, number one, in Upwork, number two? Will we find you in Fiverr, in portfolios, in websites? So you need to be set up well and be visible. You remember you're a brand. So if you are a brand, you need to be accessible and visible as a brand. So, for example, I'm Maureen, I'm a bookkeeper. So, you will find my profiles in LinkedIn, in Upwork, in Fiverr, and what have you, and all other major, freelancing platforms, Indeed, and all those things. So, I'm saying don't slack in putting yourself out there. You need to be out there for you to be noticeable as a freelancer. Number three. And number four, once you have identified the kind of freelancing that you want to do, whether you're a student or an 8 to 5, once you have identified the kind of freelancing that you want to do, you need now to set up an account. Yes, that's why we were talking about branding. So, but if you have not started branding yourself, you can now set up an account. Number one, in LinkedIn. Number two, in Fiverr. Those two will always work. Absolutely. So, and then a portfolio. Get a portfolio that works and that showcases your work. So, for example, if you don't have experience, start volunteering. Well, it's hard, yes, but start taking smaller gigs, the $5 gigs, the $10 gigs, the $15. Those are the ones that will build into your portfolio if you don't have experience. If you have experience, start recording and putting together a testimonial. So, for example, you're a social media manager, but you are a social media manager for and only for you are a social media manager for a local company, and this local company is paying you in local um, currency, let's say in Kenya. So if it's in Kenya shillings, yes, let's say you're earning 10,000 Kenya shillings, but this 10,000 Kenya shillings globally, the same work can be done at $500. So what am I saying? So you're doing this one for 500 Kenya shillings per day or per week. Start recording or start showing your work. Number one, you can do screenshots of your work. You can note down the changes that have happened since you came into that work. So, for example, the social media engagement for client A was 500 comments per day. But then when you came in as a social media manager, the engagement went to 2,000 comments per day, which translated to 300 orders per day and translated to an average of 30,000 shillings revenue for client A. So you need to showcase all that. Don't just work and move along the motions. Start showcasing that this was where you find this is where you found this client, this is where you have moved this client to, and this is what you can do for this other client that you're pitching to. So when it comes to a cold pitch, you need to be quite direct. So I'm Maureen, I'm a social media manager, and I help clients manage their social media pages while engaging customers and making sure we close sales, maybe for the orders and all the inquiries that customers have and complaints. Remember, in social media management, there's reviews, there's complaints, there's inquiries, there's insults, and there's all those things. So as a social media manager, your work is just making sure everything is working well. So if it's a comment, let's say your client is selling shoes, someone has commented, "Where can I get this shoe? I'm in Mombasa. How can I get it?" So the social media manager has to be typing, "Hi, thank you for contacting us. This shoe you can get at 3,000 Kenya shillings. We ship to Mombasa at 400 shillings." And or there are those who say DM for more details. So your social media manager will be there to answer those questions and convert questions into sales. So what am I saying? Start placing yourself out there. Start building a portfolio with the little that you are doing. Even if it's your page, start growing your page. Start growing your brand. So anytime you're growing your brand, you're becoming visible and visible. Even if you're a software developer, I've seen software developers that are doing content creation. I'm not saying it's a must you do content creation, but it is helping them in a way to place them in a position whereby, number one, they can be called for training. Let's say in schools, in these groups of schools, I've realized they want their children to learn IT stuff, social media, content creation, software developer. And remember, the person sourcing for the person who will do this training will go to social media, will find this software developer doing her or his content daily, day in the life. Come with me and let's do a software developing gig for a day, for an hour. These people will get this person. They will not get the other person who is at the corner office, who does not have a social media handle, who cannot be visible. That's why I'm telling you, visibility is quite important. It does not matter the craftiness or the crispness of your content. It doesn't have to be as crisp and as, as inviting as ever, but it just needs to be out there. It can be refined with time. But once you're out there, you have made the first step. So sign up for LinkedIn, build your LinkedIn professional dashboard, build your Upwork profile. And for Upwork, it's for anyone, any service that you can provide, whether it's marketing, law. I've seen people providing law services to clients that are not in the local country they're providing from, because some of these things are general principles that are applicable. Sometimes a client wants you to file a matter, and it's just general filing. You don't have to represent them in court. It's the paperwork part of law. I've seen people do that in freelancing and earn very, very good money. I've seen people do HR for overseas clients from a local country like Kenya, an African country, let me not say local, and they do HR service successfully well. and they are paid $3,000 for that service. So it's upon you to see how you can place yourself, but remember you have to be a trained person. So it's not something that you just wake up and start. You just have to have the skill. For someone to start doing paint work, they have to know how to paint. Now, if they don't know how to paint, they have to go get trained for painting. Then they can offer the service or the paints that they need to start. So make sure. Hi. So I'm back, and as I was saying, let's let's have those four things in place. So number one, we said just get certified before anything else. Don't be in a rush. Get certified, get trained if you need to be trained, volunteer if you need to volunteer. Number two, we said work on your visibility, on your branding, on your placement. That's what we said in number two. Number three, go ahead and start applying. Go ahead and start pitching. Start curating your testimonials. Start doing those day in the life of could be a HR practitioner. Start curating that content slowly by slowly. You'll see people in your DM trying to get your attention to do some work for them. So that means you can grow from 10,000 Kenya shillings per month to 100,000 Kenya shillings per month. It's really not impossible, but it's not magic at the same time. Like I said, you need to get certified and place yourself in a position whereby you are visible. Number three and number four, we have said go ahead and apply, start doing the work, and create and build momentum as you go on. Learn on the job. Sometimes you have to learn on the job. Be willing to ask questions, learn on the job, and this will ensure your success as a freelancer. So, do tell me how this was. It was just a short, by the way. I've seen most people, most young people want to know how to do freelance and work remotely for non global companies, not non-global, but global companies. And if I have the knowledge, I just said, let me share it and see if someone can benefit, but get certified first. If you're not yet certified, number two, I said also start placing yourself in platforms like LinkedIn, and Upwork. Don't miss those two. If you miss the rest, Upwork and LinkedIn are your go-to if you want to be a freelancer. Upwork and LinkedIn. So the next video, we are going to look at how you can place yourself in LinkedIn, in Upwork for successful job landing outcomes. There is a specific way you have to place yourself and position yourself in Upwork and LinkedIn. It's not the general kind of positioning, and it's not the general kind of profile. There's a way you have to position yourself. So next time, get your photo ready, your professional photo that's colorful, that thank you so much, Leonard, for coming and subscribing. Then thank you, Simba Mdogo. Hi. Yes. And also next time we are going to learn about how to land those gigs. Yeah? Are you excited for that video? Because I am excited. This is something I have done over time, and I have gained a lot of experience, knowledge, and I am here to just offer it for free so that you can, even yourself, start this journey of freelancing. And I will be so happy for you if you join that live. So bye for now. I hope this video helped you, and subscribe, share this video, and like. Bye.